How's everyone doing today? Um, for the last couple hours, I've just been listing, and Alex Nostalgianomics was live, so I was hanging out in there, listing with less efficiency than I should have because I was partaking in that wild live chat too much. But what's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing? Gonna hang out till sometime between 4 and 4:30. Hour and a half stream, depending on how it goes. I have a couple things I wanted to show. I do have a stack of cards going out to the vault. I have a stack of cards going out to the vault next week. Let me make sure there's no personal information buried in here. But yeah, I will show off the cards that are headed to the vault. I will just folding this form so that it doesn't show any of the information. That one shows too much information too. But yeah, I'll show those in a minute. Pokemon Wonder says listing more vintage for auction. That is something I wanted to show today as well. Diamond Hands, Buy It Now Only Dan. I put out my formal apology video on Monday. So my formal apology video went out Monday. That is out there. If you've not yet seen it, feel free to check it out after this live. Normally it's Buy It Now's only for me. But I did send like 300 cards on my own eBay to auction, as well as I thought I sent 66 to Probstein, but they actually shared with me a link, and I think it's like 74. Pretty interesting to see, because I've never known how Probstein's backend has worked. And to be honest, like I've never sent to Rusty before, but I sent 10 to Rusty. I sent 10 to James. It's been over a year since I had sent anything to James. For anyone who's been around a while, I did a video like a year and a half or 2 years ago where I sent a handful of auctions myself. So I have auctioned in my past. I sent a handful of auctions myself, and then Nick and James each did some as well. And I compared like the net of each. Let me see if I can actually find that sheet. Be interesting to just take a look at that sheet again. Let me search my drive for that file. But yeah, let me know if there's any questions. Feel free to leave questions in chat. It's just going to be a normal Q&A hangout. I'll show some stuff that's on consignment. I'll show some of my auctions that are going on. How's it going, Terry? Nice to see you in here. Terry was hanging out in Alex's stream. A lot of names in here were hanging out in Alex's stream. We've got Terry Lake, we got Ponga, we got Retro. A lot of these names were over there. We got Alex himself. Sell it all, hold nothing. Oh, I forgot to set up my highlighted message. Alex, we had a little bit of a controversy go on. Maybe we can address the controversy. The giant elephant in the room. Alex brands himself as a channel that will never silence any opinions, even if they're different than his own. But for those who are there, Thomas is here in the flesh. He looks like a pretty happy guy in that little avatar there. Guys, why did Nostalgia ban me? I didn't do anything. For anyone in that stream, I mean, moment of silence. Let's all put our heads down. Moment of silence for Thomas, who was a casualty of Nostalgianomics banhammer. So we will not silence you here, Thomas. Actually, we might. I mean, I don't have the policy that I don't ban anyone. If you say anything completely inflammatory or anything too crazy, or if you spam chat, or if you're a sex bot, I will ban you. Like, I don't have the policy of no bans, so if and when needed, I will use that ban hammer. But from what I saw, it was unjustly used on you in a channel where they say they have no ban hammers. So yeah, I'm interested, Alex, if you can explain yourself in chat while we've got. Well, yeah, what did I do, Alex? Let Thomas know. What did he do? Ha ha ha! That is not the same person. I mean, you said there was a Thomas. This guy's Thomas. Letters don't lie. I mean, this is Thomas. Letters don't lie. Facts are facts. That was Thomas. This is Thomas. So, yeah, let me, he's right. Sold out Thomas immediately. I would love to get to the bottom of this. Ponga's a sex bot. Oh, man. That was way too wild. Dan, you didn't mention that I was here. My widow feelings are hurt. Well, there you go, Kryptonites. You've been mentioned. Let me catch up with chat. Let me get all the mentions out there. Leonardo with an L. Given the recent events with Thomas, is this a safe space? I do not silence people for their opinions, but I have a list. But let me actually see if I can pull up my list of how many people I've banned on YouTube. I've banned several. Most of them have XXX or 69 or some kind of a bot-generated username in there for various adult websites that I would rather not have advertised within my live chat. But that's just me, an evil monster who silences people. I don't even know where to see who's been banned. Let me see. Community. Holy, I have a lot of moderators. I have like... I guess for all that banning I need to do, I have 10 moderators out there wielding those wrenches strong. Yeah. Almost every single one that's banned has naked or XXX or adult or something of that nature in it. I actually do remember there was a fake King Pokemon, definitely not Gary. There was a fake King Pokemon just saying stupid stuff. There's probably 10, probably as many mods that I have that many people banned as well. But all bots and then one complete troll that was pretending to be Gary. So that's what I've got for a ban list. I won't ban you unless you deserve it though. And I think there are times and situations where people can deserve it. I do not believe Thomas deserved it though. I mean, I did not see what he said. I would love to see what he said, but he was banned, so we can't see. Free my man Thomas. GoFundMe started for Thomas. Vintage is good. That might be what Thomas said. I heard rumors that is what Thomas has said, and then he got banned. So, Nostalgianomics YouTube, more like E5? I don't know. Oh, God, this is too much. Too much. Let's see if we have any actual Pokemon content today. Any actual Pokemon conversation. Let's see what this Dust Lord is talking about. I would ban Retro, but he has a wrench, and he might ban me if I try to ban him, so I have to leave him there. How about a new topic? Marvel cards. I know very little about Marvel. I watched some of the Marvel movies, some of the comic superhero movies as they came out. I had some friends in college that were really into those type of movies, so I watched more. But I've never been that big into them. So not something I'll probably ever get into. I know my son watches a little bit of The Amazing Spider-Man and Friends or something. That's the extent of what Marvel and comic book superhero type content that I consume, is watching my kids watch Ghost Spidey and those. Watching like 30 plus of Dan's auctions. Most of them are pretty rough, to be honest. Most of them are like mid-era, vintage, PSA 8s, PSA 9 hollows, sub $50 cards, almost all of them. But there are some random sprinkled in like mid-era PSA 10. I had them listed really, really high. I had some Blaziken that's like Pop 6 from some Battle Stadium for like $800. And I have no idea whether it's worth $80 or $500 or maybe it'll go for $900 now. 300 auctions, I will be shocked if one doesn't go for higher than it had been listed as a buy now, because that's just the way things go. With the recent add-on top 10 Pokemon, when will we see you on Monday Night Football? I was actually so engrossed in Alex's live stream because the chat was wilding. I've not yet watched my ad, but yeah, I did purchase 2 ad spots in top 10 Pokemon. Videos. So advertising my own buy it now consignment through the eBay vault. Is this the reseal stream? That's PK. PK is the reseal man. He may or may not show people a little bit behind the curtains on how reseals are done. He made that whole video last night about Pandora's box. I did listen to that this morning. I understand both sides of it. I personally think more people having more information is better for everyone. That said, there's a lot of dummies out there who are going to be questioning every single Rapidash V collection box they get. As PK mentioned, that whole interaction with P Football Pete as his warehouse, and yeah. There you go. Join Swami's Marvel Discord, Alex H. Auction off your $130,000 card. That is not being auctioned ever. Someone wants to buy it, they can buy it, but I would take less than 130K, but I'm not going to take 99 cents. Let the market decide. I'm not going to paper hands that card like that. Why are you dumping on us? It's honestly, like, one big thing that I actually wanted to discuss today too. My schedule for live streams and even for Pokeflips starting the school year. So starting like a month from today, like 4 weeks from today, I am unsure of when and how I'll be able to stream. I guess I don't need to get into too much in depth about it, but my babysitter situation is changing potentially. So I might be just like hanging out with my daughter during the day because she's not yet old enough to go to pre-K. My son is doing full day kindergarten next year. My daughter's not yet ready for pre-K. She will be the following year, so she will be 2024 school year in the fall. So yeah, I might be like a school year of working nights. And if the way that it would probably work, the way that I'm assuming it would work, Pokeflips would just be from like 4 to 7 every other Thursday. And I'll probably stream not every week, but just the weeks in between Pokeflips. That's like a tentative thing. It's not confirmed. I'll have to confirm it over the next few weeks. I still have to talk to Nick more. I know I brought it up to him like a month ago. He probably doesn't even remember now. One of our pre or post chats to a live stream, I think. But yeah, my schedule might be a little bit rough. And part of me doing 300 auctions, 60 to Probstein, 60 to DC Sports, part of me like clearing all this stuff out is so that I am just less cluttered and more streamlined, more ready to potentially be working 10, 15 less hours a week, because I might just have a hard time getting a full work schedule in. I'm not going to stop doing consignments. I'm not going to stop doing live streams altogether, YouTube videos, but certain things are going to have to be like cut, or I'm going to have to be more efficient, basically. I'm going to have to do a little bit less of my own thing with buying and selling stuff. One just easy low-hanging fruit to like make myself more streamlined, more efficient, more organized is to just chuck 400 or 500 like random junk cards. They're not all random junk, but a lot of them are. And those mystery listings that I showed in my video on Monday, you could see the sale quantity on a lot of those, 350, 150. Like I've sold 500 plus slabs through those. So between this auction block and between those mystery listings, I will have cleared out nearly 1,000 slabs. That's pretty substantial. I showed that video some time ago showing how I store cards, my little vault that I have basically. 1,000 cards out of there, that's a substantial like cleanup. That's a substantial... I'm gonna have to make a little mess dumping some stuff over. But 10 of these things out of my space, I think I can store like 5,000 or 6,000 cards in my vault. So 1,000 cards leaving, that's pretty substantial. That's 20% of my like capacity just being freed up, cleaned up, and it makes it easier to pick and pull cards when there's just less to pick from. And honestly, like a lot more of what I'm doing lately, I don't have a stack next to me because they're all like organized where they should be. But when I have like 10 PSA 9 Celebration Charizards, it's easier to pick and pull those. It's easier to fulfill those orders. I actually do have some Nagaba Eevees in front of me. When I have like 10 of these pristine 10 Sylveons, it's easier to fulfill 10 of these orders than it is to fulfill a PSA 8 Heatran from some Diamond and Pearl set, or a PSA 7 WotC Hollow, Neo Revelation Houndoom. So I'm trying to like refine my store into fewer SKUs so that they're better organized and just easier to pick and pull. And shipping is going to be like one of my biggest hurdles. Like my wife is going to be gone and my son are going to be gone at school. I'm going to be home during the day. I mean, I can take my daughter to the post office and go do post office runs like that, but when am I going to pack and pull orders? I need to like figure out my new schedule moving ahead. But yeah, let me continue to catch up here. Feels good to be among a host that can take a joke and not ban. Don't ban me for the meme. Memes are welcomed here. I've actually turned a couple Nostalgianomics Discord memes into emotes in my own paywall Discord. Like saying that's not the same time as a lot of these names were over there. We are in every live. We don't touch grass. Don't ban us, Dan. Thoughts on the limited edition Wiglet Poke plush? I've not seen that, but I am bullish on that. I'm a big fan of the plushes, as you can see. Thoughts on Thomas? Rest in peace. I'm glad we have him here. Oh, here we go. We got SM Pratt himself in the chat. I don't know if this is actually SM Pratt or if this is let's see. Let me go to channel. Yeah, okay. Beware, this is not actually SM Pratt. I went to channel. There are no videos. So unless Scott just pulled all his videos, this is not actually Scott. Just beware. I only invest in modern promos and complain all the time about modern product. Oh man, I cannot imagine the memes we're gonna get here. This might be a long hour and a half. Let me try to catch up. Let me try to catch up. Thomas in the Discord looking to be banned there too. I'm actually cracking up right now. Gotta give you that one. Love it. I will not rest until I get YouTube to unban Thomas. We're gonna follow up on that. Everyone remember that Alex is claiming that he's gonna do work in the background to unban Thomas for that unjust ban. Somebody gift Thomas a membership. I don't think you can gift directly one-to-one. I think you have to just gift it into the void, and then YouTube decides who gets the gifted memberships. Are you looking for hot Pokemon singles near you? They're looking for you. I actually had the thought, like, I don't have any editing ability, and maybe it's been done, but I feel like someone would do like a meme type video, clickbaity, hot Pokemon singles near you of like the most eligible bachelors in the Pokemon hobby and the Pokemon space. I mean, we got, my co-host, Old Skool Pokemon, my Pokeflips co-host, Old Skool Pokemon, one of the most eligible bachelors out there in the Pokemon space, and hot Pokemon singles near you. Oh man, your mods suck. Manga's trying to get himself banned. Why is PK so experienced with resealing? I do this as a business and wouldn't even know where to start with if I wanted to reseal something. I don't know what exactly PK does for work, but I know roughly he's mentioned something with like geology or whatever. I actually worked at a company. I know the whole chemical engineer meme. I wasn't even going to say it, but for the meme, I'll say I used to be a chemical engineer. I used to work at a facility where we vacuum sealed a lot of products. We actually used to seal, and I know Pokemon packs aren't vacuum sealed, but they're heat sealed. I had all kinds of heat sealers. I had all kinds of heat seals that you could change the timer on them. You could change like the amount of pressure that is applied during sealing, the amount of heat, the duration that the heat is applied. I actually have a vacuum sealer that I use for like freezing meats and stuff too. And that's all it is. That's all these things are. Like if you work in any kind of, we used to have foil packaging. We used to have plastic packaging. We used to have all different kinds of packaging that was heat sealed and dealing with different kinds of plastics, different kinds of foils, different melting points, and maybe PK has some experience with things along those lines. I don't really know, but yeah, it's not exactly rocket science nor chemical engineering to figure out like how packs are sealed. It's a pretty, I mean, it's done billions of times a year. Pokemon, sports, everything else. To think that someone would have the ability to replicate that, kind of a scary thing. Rusty, TCA Gaming just recently had a video yesterday where he had a pretty sus looking Flashfire box, and then he opened it today and it seemed normal. But how do we know it was normal? How do we know somebody didn't go to such lengths that they resealed PSA 8 quality near mint cards because that's what they could have been in that era? It's such like, as PK said, it's such a Pandora's box situation that I don't know what the best thing to do is. Me personally, I've always thought more people having more information is better. Years back on E4, I used to actually fight the battle on E4 years back. People used to not like pack weighing. I always said, some people know it exists and they will abuse it and they will use it against people. Arm the people who might potentially be victims with the knowledge so that they know how to protect themselves. I've always weighed, I've always disclosed. I sold light packs, or I sold light packs as light packs for people who wanted to collect the pack cards. I graded, like this is a graded light pack. I've always sold heavies as heavies, hollow guarantee, or I've opened them myself to grade them back when it was plus EV. So me personally, I've told PK privately and publicly. I think I commented on a couple of his videos publicly. I think PK should do, this is how easy it is to reseal a pack, and this is how easy it is to make a convincing reseal, especially on video. He should do it. He should release it. I think it will cause a little bit, like he might get talked about on big channels. He might get linked, and he shouldn't do it for that reason. He should do it for just getting information out there. But the casualty we'll have to deal with is people will like they've always done it. Like, what do I have behind me? I have a VMAX Climax box. I have like this Charizard collection. Anytime anyone buys anything, certain people will just always be like, I didn't pull what I wanted. I didn't pull a Moonbreon. I got resealed. I got scammed. It will probably increase the prevalence of that. It will increase the prevalence of dummies being dummies, thinking they're getting scammed when they're actually not. They're buying from PokemonCenter.com and claiming they got resales. They're buying from me or from Nick or from Rusty, and the shrink wrap is loose because of bad QC on Pokemon's part. We're getting it through official channels, through distributors. That will be annoying, but I think it's the lesser of two evils. I think a little bit more of that and a lot more information and a lot more knowledge, and people stopping playing these stupid bounty games on Whatnot. Guess the Energy, the ones that can so easily be gamed. I think it's better. It's tough because it's kind of like it's almost like radioactive. This information, this knowledge. It's like no matter what you do with it, there's nothing good to be done with it. It's kind of a lose-lose situation. It's just which one's the bigger loss, I guess. I don't know. More information to more people, generally the better in my opinion. All Thomas said was maybe sealed isn't the best option. Let me see. Tell me how to get rich quick without doing match the energy on Whatnot. Get rich slowly. That's the actual key. Getting rich slowly is really easy in practice, but no, it's easy in theory, but it's hard in practice because people are just impatient. I think I might actually have it behind me. No, I don't have it behind me. I think I have the book. Get Rich Slowly is actually a book that someone in the finance space wrote. I forget which one. Was it JD Roth? Let me look it up really quick. Get Rich Slowly by JD Roth. Yeah. I have that book somewhere. I don't know where. But people like talk about the S&P 500. It's boring. Pokemon is fun and exciting, and we can get rich quick and we can stonk and crypto and all these different. Most people that are trying to get rich quick are just gonna stay poor quick or slow or however you want to look at it. Getting rich slowly, there's pretty like tried and true methods that just no one wants to do because it's boring and it takes decades. That's partially why I'm so confident in the S&P 500 and things. I'm bullish on humanity. I'm bullish on technological innovations of these companies. I'm bullish on 8 to 10% inflation-adjusted returns on the S&P 500, largely because a lot of people will just stonk about left and right, do all this day trading, all this different kind of crazy stuff, and the few who like opt to just follow the tried and true method will be rewarded because a lot of people, like part of it, if you invest long-term over time, some of your gains are coming from all the day traders just losing money, paying these companies who you're invested in, paying all the fees, transacting back and forth, and it's crazy. In your last video, you shared your random PSA 8 plus listing. I was watching it as I was pre-grading. If you were getting 8s, it was telling me you were comfortable sending cards with some minor surface flaw. A lot of those 8s are... A lot of them are actually CGC 8.5s. A lot of what is sent through that PSA, CGC, BGS 8 listing, a lot of them are CGC 8.5s. Old Blue Label CGC 8.5s. Base 99 2000, Jungle Fossil First Edition. If you look at the picture of the listing, you might see a couple. There are random PSA 8s. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't grade any PSA 8s whatsoever. PSA 8s are probably the least likely, but that's also a catch-all. I also occasionally send CGC 9s through there. I send occasionally CGC 9.5s through there. Disproportionately, though, you're more likely to get the PSA 8, the CGC 8, the flat like baseline for that listing. Whoa, just saw the sponsored ad on top 10. Don't get too big and forget about us. Yeah, I do not think PK is abusing resealing whatsoever. I think that the people that are not talking about it anywhere. The people that do not want the video. That's why I think PK should just do it and release a video about it, because a lot of people, like people on Whatnot, probably, and it's such a double-edged sword, because there are people that are doing Guess the Energy. Like, I don't like it. I don't like the whole carnival style games, but there's a legitimate way to do it. Some people are legitimately doing that game where you actually can win the bounty. Like, how many energies are there? 8 or 9? You have a 1 in 8 shot legitimately of winning it. There are people not rigging it, and all those people are just screwed over by the whole Blake Martinez scandal. And I have not watched the 12-part series on that. I'm not familiar with all the ins and outs of that. All I know is Blake Martinez was banned by Whatnot. So it sucks that a lot of like good, honest people get caught up in the whole thing there. And I don't know what to do about that. Like, I don't think I have all the answers. I hope I don't come across that way. I know some people, shout out to Terry for coming up with the whole know-it-all collectibles meme. I will tell you if I don't think I have the answers. I mean, the whole core baseline for this channel, I'm one guy doing my thing, giving you my opinions and my thoughts. I know I'm here largely for luck. The whole 2020 thing, raising all my backlog, raising my whole hoard in value. I have no illusions of grandeur, despite what some people might think. My question is, what have you learned in your experience is acceptable flaws to have and you are still comfortable sending? LOL, don't go full red light down on me. If you do, at least flip them on. Oh, so you're following up on the PSA 8 Plus. It's fairly obvious. Like, PSA 10s can be off-center. I mean, 60-40 is what they claim. I've seen cards that are like 70-30 that still get 10s. You can have a couple white dots. You can have a couple like minor. You can have a very minor print line. Ideally, PSA will 9 a print line card, but I've seen 10s with print lines. It's the more issues you see, the more likely it's gonna drop down to a 9 or an 8 or a 7 or a 6. If it's a crease, if it's an indent, don't touch that at all. That's always gonna automatically, unless they miss it, which they do. But yeah, the more issues, the more likely it's not gonna be a 10. The more issues, the further down the scale it goes. Why did you sell 500 cards? I talked about it just a minute or two ago. Maybe. Oh, I'm like 20 minutes behind, so I think I covered it. I'm trying to clear things out so that I can prepare myself for potentially working nights throughout next school year. Partially. And then partially just like, yeah, cash flow is probably the least consideration of that. More space and just efficiency of not having to pick over those 500 slabs when I'm picking the ones that are selling. If I have 5,000 slabs I have to pick from to find one that sold, it's just naturally going to take more time than if I have 4,000 or 3,000, 2,000. Advice on getting started with flipping cards with grading raw. Any specific nuances that beginners might not think about? Buy a couple cheap, super cheap PSA 10s, PSA 9s, PSA 8s, or just grade a couple. But literally buy. There are beautiful cards. And not super plus EV if you grade them, but this is actually a little stack still from when Jake came over. Look at some of these cards from Crown Zenith that are like a couple dollar cards. Like, your downside is fairly buoyed by the fact that you can sell stuff through random listings and get 15 bucks a slab. But like just random hollows like this, buy these $2 cards in some different conditions and grade them. Pay 15 bucks a piece. Every $15 bill, say 20 bucks all in for a slab with a $2 card inside of it, return shipping and all that. Every $20 bill you spend, learn from it. Like, take a 20 card submission, so 500 bucks. And if you don't have 500 bucks, maybe do it with 10 cards. I don't know what the minimum is, whatever it may be. Take 10 cards, create a spreadsheet, write down on a piece of paper, write down every flaw you see, and estimate what grade you think it might get. And then once you get the grades back, review them, see where you were right, see where you were wrong, see where you were close, why you were off, and then do it again and do it again. Do it a few times. Like, just experience is the best teacher for sure. Um, for eBay Vault Consignment, normally how long does it take to get listed by eBay since you ship cards to them based on last month's experience? So, depending on when you get to me for the deadline. So the deadlines are the 1st and the 15th of the month. And if you get to me, say you get to me like on the deadline, you will be included in that shipment. It will be shipped within 2 or 3 business days. It has been taking about a week. It's been taking about a week to get to eBay and to be authenticated and in the vault. Then it takes a day or two. I'm able to edit titles. Not everyone can edit titles right now. Maybe they can in the future. I don't know. I have a rep that I deal with for editing titles. So it's about 2 weeks from when they land to me, 2 weeks from the deadline date. So if you send to me on August 1st, for the batch of people who sent to me on August 1st, I shipped them out on August 3rd. Just today I got the email that they are in my vault ready to go. They're not titled yet though. So they have the bad titles. They have the auto eBay vault generated titles. I just emailed before this live stream, I emailed my rep to get the new titles on. So potentially as soon as tonight, maybe as late as tomorrow night or the next night, but less than 2 weeks. So the deadline was August 1st. Those cards will be listed by August 15th. Almost guaranteed, unless my rep is like on vacation or something this week. But yeah, so less than 2 weeks. Where did you acquire the drawings on your wall? Those are from Pokemon Center. I don't know if they still have them up, but look up Canvas. Look up Canvas on Pokemon Center. Okay, I'm at the point where fake SM Pratt came in. Ponga's trying to take my spot on Pokeflips. Terry Lake, enjoy your kids. They grow so fast. Absolutely, it's crazy. Yeah, it'll definitely be a little bit tough. It'll be a little bit tough if I'm working nights only, but the time I'll be able to spend with my daughter, one-on-one daddy-daughter time, I'll be looking forward to that if it does go that way. If I end up with a sitter though, and I'm able to work normally throughout the days, I have been taking zoo trips with the family. I've been taking like weekdays, midday weekdays off to go to the zoo. We're gonna go to a sometime over the next couple of weeks. We're going to a water park. I'm gonna take a couple days off. We're gonna go to like a movie, a midday showing of a movie. I think like an old Disney movie. I don't know. My son probably wants to watch Lion King or something. He's been very into Lion King lately. Thoughts on doing a live stream until Thomas is reinstated? That ban sounded final. Alex must have hit the perma ban button. Make content of Pokemon selling and babysitting. Woo, calling vintage junk. Oh man. Let me he said Celebration Zard, bingo, I won. Yeah, I said Celebration Zard, I said Chemical Engineer. I probably said at the end of the day, everyone has to have bingo by now. Everyone is probably very intoxicated if they're drinking every time they mark off a bingo square. Alex, I assume this was 18 minutes ago, but I assume by now you know that that's fake SM Pratt. It's weird. Like, if you're a moderator or if you are like the channel owner, you can click the 3 dots and you can go to someone's channel. But like when I was in Alex's live chat earlier as just a viewer, like a non-mod viewer, I just noticed my side light is off because of all my shadow here. But I noticed that you can't go to channel when you're in the live chat. So like it's really weird how they do that. So if you're hanging out in this live chat, besides for what he's saying and besides for the fact that he's in here talking, I think it's fairly obvious it's not a real SM Pride account. But you have no way to like completely verify that, I don't think. I don't know why you can't go to channel as a viewer. This stupid light doesn't turn on. At least fake SM Pratt is telling us, not pretending to actually be. I mean, saying he's fake when he's called out. Oh, I was so excited. Alex did fall for it for a second. I almost fell for it for a second too, but very quickly. um, OSP has only one mistress, and it's eBay Live. He's deep in eBay. I vacuum sealed plenty of packs, different industry. There are so many industries. Actually, you know, like the PokeRev packs. You know the PokeCloe packs. The the industry that I was in, those are like a foil, kind of like a foil pack, very different foil from like Pokemon booster packs. But a lot of those packagings look similar to what we used to have for some of our product lines. We Some of ours were a clear plastic, some of them were like a metallized foil plastic, whatever. All different kinds of stuff. But yeah. Heat sealing is not like again, heat sealing is not rocket science. Hey, what did you do before full-time Pokemon? Just wondering. um Dan, what's one inexpensive thing you've purchased that has changed your life? Change your life is really drastic, but one thing that I will say, I'm a big fan of the Leatherman Wingman. This thing, it's got a knife in it for cutting open boxes. It's got scissors on it. It's got screwdrivers on it. But it's actually called a Wingman. I like it because it has this little clip thing that clips into your pocket. I don't often wear a belt. I don't like to have things protruding from my side like that. Like my dad used to carry one on his belt loop in a little pouch thing. But these are really nice. I have one in my car. I have one. I'm almost always carrying one. You just never know. You never know when you might need to fix something, when something might break, when you might need a knife on hand. So I wouldn't say it changed my life, but for like $30, whatever they cost, I think I bought like 10 of them back when they were 30, $40 a piece. I think they're a little bit more expensive now. I think Leatherman is really inflation. Inflation is a hell of a drug. They're getting a lot more expensive, but that's something I'd recommend to a lot of people. Wait, did you just compare chemical engineering to rocket science? Are you saying you're basically a rocket scientist now? I think rocket scientist is I think that's a bit easier actually. No, that's just a meme. I think it's one of Terry's comments. Somewhere in my comment section, Terry did something about me saying I'm a chemical engineer. It's not quite rocket science. No way, it's not quite chemical engineering. Oh man. Know it all collectibles, the wannabe rocket scientist. Oh man. Then with my new work, we've been at it with eBay auctions, and currently I've shipped a few wrong. How can I better my self-esteem after making such mistakes? I thought you were gonna ask how can I prevent more mistakes. UAP, do you ship with packing slips? I used to use packing slips, and I made almost no errors. And then we had squeaks on, and I got kinda picked on for using packing slips. Like who does that? I found out that like I think Rusty doesn't use packing slips, Nick doesn't, Squeaks doesn't. Very few people use them, so I'm like, okay, let me try not using them. I messed up a few things shortly after, but I basically just I print a pick list, and then in the same order I print my labels. And I always, okay, this guy bought like a PSA 10 grill greaser Pete. You slap that one down, you put the label on top of it. I just do a stack, card, label, card, label, card, label. I only ship like 20 things a day, so it's pretty easy to not confuse them. If and when I ever got to like 100 things a day, if and when I got to where I made a lot of errors, I would probably just use packing slips again, to be honest, because it's a pretty foolproof system. When you pull and you put it on the packing slip with the thing, and then when you double check it as you pack it, like it doesn't even take any extra time. You just verify like John Doe, Griddle Greaser Pete, John Doe on the label, boom, done. You do that as you're grabbing it, as you're folding it, as you're packing it. Um, Here comes the people are allergic to money rant. Hey, I didn't even go into that rant, but good call. What if you aren't alive or too old to enjoy the money by the 40 years it takes to build wealth in the S&P though? This is one thing that I almost feel like I need a finance channel. There are so many topics that I would love to delve deeper into as far as what I value in life. And yeah, like you can get really deep. You can get really deep into the whole finance thing. Like I don't like some people really sacrifice. Some people really sacrifice a lot of happiness in life for the short term to save up for retirement, like financial independence, retire early. Some people work 100-hour weeks in jobs they hate for 7 years so that they can live the remainder of their life retired. I am not doing that. I've never done that. I've always saved a high portion of my income. I'm not. It's funny. It's funny the juxtaposition of me saying this with all this stuff behind me. I'm not a very materialistic person. I'm not a very consumerist person. The most expensive shirts, the most expensive clothes I have are just because like I buy, like this is probably a $20 t-shirt just because you got to buy it from MLBshop.com or whatever, official licensed. My most expensive shirts are just because they're licensed Pokemon gear, licensed sports team gear, licensed whatever. But other than that, I'm wearing probably a 15-year-old pair of athletic shorts, basketball shorts. Probably played racquetball back in college in these same shorts. I don't spend a whole lot of money. At some point, I'm going to do the Catch 'em All Collectibles household budget. So, thankfully, I've many years dual income household. We're both non-consumerist. We're both pretty frugal. We've always earned well in excess of our spending, and we're not like scrimping to save. We're not like there's nothing that we're missing out on. We have young kids. We want to travel more in the future, but we don't want to do it now. We don't want to do it yet because our kids are too young and we want to take them with us. So we honestly don't feel like we're limiting ourselves. We don't feel like we're not living life to the fullest now. Like some people, YOLO, you only live once, spend every dollar. Their happiness is like, or they think their happiness is directly proportional to how much they spend. I'm not that way. I've never been that way. Thankfully, my wife is not that way. She's never been that way. So we're just saving very large amounts. And if and when we have the misfortune of not making it, then it'll be more money for our kids. It'll take care of our kids till they can become adults and get their things situated. And we've been happy. We've been happy all along. Like part of me quitting my job to do this full time is taking my foot off the gas. Mexican fisherman versus the investment banker thing. Like I'm really living my best life right now. Like I'm genuinely very happy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to say much more than what I'm saying there. Like some people, and if you're only like I live in the woods. The simple things in life, going out back in the backyard and watching the kids play on the swing set and jump on the bounce house. And I guess the swing set and the bounce house, those are consumerist items that are pretty expensive, but they're more like experiences. Like I had a swing set growing up, I had a pool growing up, and I want to give my kids like things that they can use over and over and over and just create. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're getting way too, I see Ponga got another bingo, but, I've always been very fascinated by people's relationship to money. And some people have a very toxic relationship to money. And I know so many people in my real life, and there's probably so many people in this space that have a toxic relationship with money, and they're way more miserable than they need to be because they are so inefficient in the way that they use money. Money is a tool. Money doesn't buy happiness, but you are not going to be very happy if you don't have any of it. And you're not going to be very happy if it runs your life. And yeah, so many in-depth things that can be talked about the psychology of money and things like that. That's actually Morgan Housel. That's a book behind me here. I don't think I have that in my affiliate link on my website, but at some point I'm going to add a section for a bunch of books that I like. But so many fascinating things about people's relationship with money and the psychology behind how people handle money and how they see money. Money's the root of all evil and all this different kind of stuff. Very interesting concepts and things you can come up with behind money. But I don't think a Pokemon channel is the best space for that. So who knows? Maybe there'll be a spin-off Catch 'em All Finance channel. Catch 'em All Personal Finance. I don't know. What is the best way to send booster packs to PSA for grading? Good luck if you go that route, but this is what Pokemon channels become. It just becomes answering the same questions over and over. Card saver, pack, inside a sealed graded card sleeve. So yeah, graded card sleeve, card saver, put the pack in there, boom, done. Inside of a card saver 1 box. Dan's gonna have a blast at 75 years old, maxing out retirement accounts instead of having active managed portfolio. Can't wait to live it up with Gertrude at the old folks' home. And some people do. Some people really do sacrifice a lot of joy and whatever. Like, they don't buy the things they want short term. There's no things that I want short term that I'm not buying right now. Like, there's nothing I'm wanting for in life. And I know I'm very thankful, very happy to be able to say that. But yeah, like, a lot of people think they want $1 million. A lot of people think they want to be a millionaire, think they'll just instantly be happy. Most people, you give them $1 million, you give them $10 million, $50 million, they blow it all. They end up just where they were 5-10 years down the line, and they're no happier. Like, that's the fascinating. There's so many studies out there about the marginal utility of increased money and how money quits making you happier after like 60, 70K a year, whatever the number is. But very, very interesting concepts, interesting videos that could happen on a on a finance type channel like that. I just gotta mute my doorbell camera because it keeps going off. Oh man. Thanks for answering my question about PSA grading. I really appreciate it, Dan. Thank you for asking a Pokemon question on a Pokemon channel. I recently was listening to some finance podcast. I forget which one it was, but isn't there a statistic that shows after children move out, they spend like 1 year in total with their parents combined? At 18, or I mean, I moved out of my parents' house to go to college at 18, and then I lived after college from like 22, 23. I lived like 2 years after college with my parents while I was saving up for a down payment on a house. I will cover this all in the Catch 'em All finance journey, whatever, if people want it, which it sounded like some amount of people did. But what was I just gonna say? Oh yeah, I was listening to a thing recently where, like, when your kids, whether they turn 18, whether they turn 25, when they move out for good from their parents' house, at that point you have spent like 95% of the time, even though only 20%, 25% of their lives have elapsed, even though maybe only 50, 60% of your time, your life has elapsed, you've spent like 95% of the time you will spend with your parents, like when you move out as a kid. And that's like a really sad statistic. And you think about it, like, those are the things in life that matter. Those experiences with people that bring you happiness, bring you joy. Those are what matters. I'm very much looking forward to traveling, and hopefully retiring earlier than 65, 70, when I can't walk, can't see, can't anything. It's a sad life some people live, working a job that they're miserable in for 40, 50 years, and then they go on to retire and just kick the bucket at retirement, a year after retirement, or when they're 50, when they're 10, 15 years out from retirement. I don't think you're picking up what I'm putting down, Dan. God bless you. I'm probably missing something. I'm probably missing something. Leatherman Wingman Gang. There we go. Undervalued. Big undervalued. I gave mine as groomsmen gifts too. I got them like laser engraved or whatever with their names, and I think I just put their names on them. On mine, I put my name and then the date, and I think on theirs I just put names. But I don't know if all my groomsmen still have them. I don't know if they all still carry them, but I know at least a couple of them use them quite a bit, because I'll periodically get something that, like, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've gotten something, but like, oh hey, this came in handy the other day. Thanks again. I just wanted to know what Dan's job was, but he laughed at me. I'm assuming you knew that I used to be a chemical engineer. That's one of the issues. When I see someone ask that question, what did you used to do? I assume it's a meme. It's probably a meme. But someone could realistically ask that question and not know the background, not know the story. So I think you actually knew that, Brandon, but maybe not. I used to be a chemical engineer. It's a bit of a meme on this channel. Okay, here's Retro. And I know Retro's memeing. The other day I was texting with Retro. Retro and I are buddies. We bust each other's balls back and forth. It's all good. Retro asked me how to print more than one label at once. So here's Retro. Here's how Retro does it. He pulls up. Okay, so someone bought my PSA 10 grill greaser Pete. He prints the label, packs and ships, and then he does it with the Sylveon. And then he does it with the Flareon, one by one. And then he does it with the Chansey, one by one. Imagine, who needs packing slips when you're doing it one by one? I've said it many, many times, but James not having a resale certificate back when he was on PokeFlips, Nick not using scan forms, Retro printing shipping labels one by one. Some of the things that I hear just blow my mind. I want to do a live stream sometime of my whole workday. I hope that I'm doing some things really, really dumb, and people will say, like, what is Dan doing? Why is he doing XYZ? If he just did this, he'd save an hour a day. I hope I'm doing something really dumb. I hope that someone can give me this efficiency that will either save me tons of time or tons of money. Because some of the ones that, like, I've come across just in my dealings, in my talking with people, it's mind-blowing. Pokin Fun does it one by one also. Is there another way? It's great we talk about things. Like, it's great we talk about things in these live streams, because throughout all the memes and everything and all the useless stuff that we talk about, occasionally someone hears something, finds something, sees something that saves them a lot of time or money. So yeah, it's good stuff. George Bot also prints shipping labels one by one. It's crazy. I don't know how you guys. Oh my god. Okay. So to live chat, if you print labels one by one, what do you do when you auction 50 cards in 1 week? Imagine, my Monday is already going to be insane. Imagine if I didn't use a scan form. I think you can only do 100 items on a scan form. On Monday, I'm going to be shipping 300 items. 300 plus items probably. 60 is my normal. I do 20 a day on average. Monday is usually 50 to 60. So I could be shipping 350 items on Monday. Imagine printing those one by one. I'll print them 100 at a time. I'll do a scan form at a time. But like, imagine, how do people do that? Even if you're doing 10 a day. Even if you're doing 10 a day. Retro, I can submit to PSA faster because I'm submitting quantity 50 of Celebrations Charizard. I'm submitting quantity 50 of 001 SVP. You're doing all this DBZ, random, low pop, obscure stuff. I'm in the ultra modern, ultra liquid, ultra high pop stuff now. What if I died tomorrow and I don't use the $2 in my bank account? Think of the fun you could have had with that. Let's go, Mets. So bad this year. Yeah, very, very bad. I never watch baseball in the summer. I usually tune in the fall. By then, the Mets are usually eliminated, so I don't even tune in. So that's about what it'll be this year. I'm already into fantasy football leagues, and I was into it. I was deep in fantasy football back in college. Obviously, I was a college, like, I used to watch all the games, and I still watch a decent bit of football. Not like I used to, though. Every year it goes down and down how much I watch. I used to watch all the research. I used to do all the research myself. Like, man, I used to get really deep into fantasy football. And I didn't win any more than I currently do. Like, I thought I was doing something, but I had fun with it. So I guess it wasn't time wasted, but... Hey, I see Gary's in here. Actual Gary. Gary, just so you know, this is actual Gary in here because I just went to his channel. Gary, that is not Scott. That SM Pratt is not SM Pratt. Oh man. Just so you know, Gary, that is actual Gary, but that is not actual SM Pratt. That is not actual Scott. Let me. I'm looking over here at the live chat, seeing dangerous things going on. Yesterday I saw in the TCA Gaming video that there were also your cards in consignment. What is your strategy? Doesn't it cost you more than selling by yourself? Honestly, and I'm going to address it. I probably won't get to it in this video. I thought I was going to, but there's only 35 minutes left. I want to see the back end. I want to see the customer side of Rusty Consignment. I want to see the back end customer side of James Consignment. I want to see Probstein DC. As a consigner, I should know how other people are doing it. You should know your opponent. You should know your you should know your competition. And being one of their customers, that's actually something that goes on in a lot of different industries. I mean, buying products, trying to reverse engineer them, keeping apprised of what your competition is doing so that you can know how to improve. Same thing, talking about printing multiple labels at a time. There might be certain things that they're doing that you can utilize, increase your efficiency. Oh, hey, they're doing XYZ. That's useful to me, and I can employ that. So part of that is chucking inventory I just want gone. Part of that is like seeing if there's anything that Rusty's doing, James is doing, Probstein, DC Sports is doing that I should do. And then if I'm only working nights next year, like if I don't have a sitter, I might have to consign more of my stuff. I might have to do more, like I'll do the sourcing side, but maybe more of the selling side will be done through other people. And if anyone doesn't know, it takes the same amount of time to sell a $10,000 card as it does a $100 card. And if I have someone else sell my $50 cards, $100 cards, $200 cards, and I sell other people's $10,000 cards, $1,000 cards, $500 cards, I'm making more per unit time. Like I'm going to make a video probably for Monday on scaling and different income streams that I have in my business. Direct selling of my own inventory versus consignments versus Patreon, all that different kind of stuff. Certain things are more scalable than others, and certain things just pay a better hourly rate than others. So if I can pay Probstein $40 an hour, $2 a card-ish to sell my cards, and I can make $100 an hour doing something else, like that's a win-win. I only have a certain amount of time. The amount of time I have might go down next school year if I don't have a sitter. So all these different things to and that's something valuable too. I mean, Rusty's showing my business card. I might get 5 new subscribers. How much that's a very minimal part of it, but that is something too. Anyone else having issues with eBay standard envelopes? So far, 4 different shipments in the last 2 months made 10+ day round trip around the country to come back to my mailbox as undeliverable. They probably don't know their address. They're probably putting their address in wrong, but they're saying every other eBay shipment's come fine. I have no idea. I'm not taking over now that Mike has stepped down. Mike is still doing a lot of things. He's just, I think, President Andy is now the president. The love of money is the root of all evil, not the money itself. Okay, I had that quote wrong. Thanks, Alex. Money is the root of some happiness, but the root of all evil. Problem is at the USPS office, they stare at the eBay label and say this is not trackable. I was the first person at my post office, I believe, to ever use eBay standard envelope shipping. I had to like educate them on what it was exactly. And now that they know what it is. There's probably a lot of post offices out there that have no idea what eBay standard envelope is. So maybe print something out if they can. I mean, one issue that a lot of people will deal with at big post offices, you'll deal with a different clerk every time. Like I deal with the same people every time, which is great. Inform them on what it is. Hopefully they'll figure it out. Hopefully they'll send it. It could be the final carrier saying that this is insufficient postage. This isn't the right thing. I got to return to sender. I don't know. Like it could be, I don't know what it is exactly. People still read books with eyes and not just listen to them. I don't read as much as I should. I have a lot of books on my to read list that I'm very, very horrifically slowly moving through. Have you ever thought of buying PSA 8, 9, team up alts, crack and sell raw? No. I think there's a lot more low-hanging fruit than that. That fruit is at like the top of the tree. There's probably money. Thoughts on Paradise Resort? I like it. It is not playable whatsoever in the game, I'm sure. Having read it. It lowers the retreat cost of Psyduck. Cool art, though. I like the Lapras. I like the Quaxley, the Psyduck in the background. Pretty cool art. My wife and I max 401k, Roth IRA, and HSA accounts, and anything left over goes to vacations and Pokemon cards. That's our rule for spending. Yeah, I fill all my tax advantage buckets before I do anything with inventory and Pokemon-wise. Is Umbreon your favorite Pokemon? Umbreon's cool. He's not my favorite. I was wondering how Gary came in and where Gary's first message was. I'm 69 and can see etc. Oh man. I think the new promo from the decks is really really cool, but I'm not buying them at 300 plus. I'm a groomsman and all I got was being forced into going to a wedding and missing Collecticon. I think you'll get that at the wedding. Like, I don't think you get that well in advance. I think I gave that to all my groomsmen on the wedding morning. I think I gave them personalized, I think I gave them already pre-filled personalized flasks as well. Flasks and wingmen were what my groomsmen got. What are your thoughts on Obsidian Flames and easy pull rates? Not sure if you answered this already. I think that's like what is going on for Scarlet and Violet, right? Aren't the pull rates easier? I don't have deep thoughts about it. I don't really look at spoilers or anything, so I'm not too informed on it. But it is what it is. I don't know. Let's have a resellers Olympic and see who can pack and ship faster. We can see who lists faster too. Let's compare 90 days too. Oh man, there's no way you ship faster than me. There's no way you ship faster than me when you're when all I'm packing are 10 of the same card, all my Nagaba EVs, that's all I sell these days. And I'm printing all the labels at once. There's no way. No way you're beating me. One by one, LOL, I feel attacked. I used paper and tape yet like a caveman. Oh my goodness. I think Gary knows by now. I said multiple times, but Gary, that is not the real Scott. Oh man. The secret is to just not sell any more than one card per day, then you only have to print one label at a time. True, true. Imagine consistently auctioning off 50 cards on a weekly basis. I did not say weekly. I think there's probably a lot of people that have auctioned. Say it's even 20. Like, what do you do when you auction 20? You really print 20 labels one by one? Crazy to me. I don't know how people are doing one by one here. No, like we have someone make a fake sub and send us a Word doc, and we see who can fill the sub out correctly fastest. That does not sound fun or useful. To where we're both subbing the same sub. It could actually make an interesting video. Oh, here we go. Tekken Sports. We're talking daily refinement. Let's go. Tekken Sports ships 300 packages a day and prints labels one by one. I don't think I believe that. I don't know. The guy who he photographs items in 7 seconds and lists them in 3 seconds and lists 300 items a day. I don't know. I don't know if maybe Tekken Sports actually does that, but that's crazy to me. Yeah, that's the real Gary. Fake SM Pratt. That is the real Gary. Because when you guys can't do it, but when I click on the three dots and I go to channel, it's King Pokemon. Gary is 2000, 13.4K subscribers. It's been a while since Gary has given us a video, but that's the real Gary. Hope all is well, Gary. Looking forward to seeing you. Looking forward to seeing you. And I'm assuming you're going to be at CollectCon Charlotte. Um, one by one is quicker and also less likely to make mistakes. I don't know. I'm having a hard time. Serious question. If I want to consign, but you already have multiple on your eBay, do I undercut your other consigners? No shade, but how would you go about that? So I have had a couple instances, multiple actually, where people have the same card. I price them the same. So if I've priced this person's at 300 and I don't undercut one or the other. I price it the same, and theoretically the best slab should win, right? The newest cert number, the cleanest card, the least weighting, the best centering, that should I think we over exaggerate the I don't have time phrase. Let's be real, we waste at least 25% of our days. We are in a Pokemon live stream. We all have time. We all have time. I don't know what that's with respect to. I don't know. That's probably with respect to something I said, to be fair. But yeah, the amount of Discord posts that I have, the amount of YouTube live stream posts that I have, we all have time. um, I had to educate my postal workers on ESE as well. Crazy, the line of communication is so shallow. Yeah, it's weird. Retro and UAP going at it. Not actually going at it. We got heart emojis going back and forth now. There we go. Oh man. Just hire employees, Dan. You can print half a label at a time. There we go. For anyone who's not familiar, but we're gonna recheck that bingo card for the 5th time. The parable of the Mexican fisherman. When I'm happy today, like why do I need to hire people and expand and expand and expand and grow, endless growth? I'm doing what I'm happy doing now. So I mean, quote me, call me out. I'll have to make another YouTuber I'm sorry video if I do it. I never see myself hiring an employee, especially like shout out ZNG Emporium, Old Skool Pokemon. I'm gonna do a consignment through Old Skool Pokemon when he'll allow me to. eBay Live. I have a stack ready to go to him for eBay Live. I just sent cards to James, to Rusty, to Probstein, to DC. I sell through Troll and Toad Evo. There's another bingo slot. I will heavily utilize other services. Comsi, check out my cards. I will heavily utilize other services to move cards that are out of my wheelhouse, out of my expertise. Retro's consigning Dragon Ball cards for me. Sky, that one guy, is consigning several different IP cards for me from that massive collection I bought. I like the idea of scaling that way, personally. I could hire a bunch of people. I could do a bunch of different things like that, but I'm just not going to go that route. There's a lot of different reasons why I'm not going to go that route, but yeah, that's I see James. Oh god, the fisherman crap. Oh god, that's funny. What is your favorite Pokey? I'm so bad at picking favorites. Like my son is at that age where he's like, "What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite food?" I have like a top 5. I have a top four. The only thing I have like a clear cut favorite for is like my favorite baseball team is the Mets, favorite football team is the Jets, favorite hockey team is the Rangers. But for like favorite color, favorite food, favorite Pokemon, there's like several. I mean, Charmander's up there, Haunter, Gengar's really cool too, Dragonite, Mewtwo, a lot of the Gen 1. Quaxley, my boy's up there. There's a lot of cool ones, but I have such a hard time picking a favorite. Pikachu solid. My thoughts on the Blake's Breaks, I did not follow it. If he's rigging games as is seems to be likely, given that he's been banned, bad. My thoughts is that's bad. I don't know what more to say than that. It would be great if platforms would not allow for the layered gambling upon gambling, but like it just is what it is. And Retro says, actually some juice in the DBZ that was not picked through. That's why I sent it to Retro. Like, I know that Dragon Ball Z score is out of my wheelhouse. I could do a bunch of research. I could try to optimize it. I could literally one by one. I could Google every name of every card. My time is not best spent doing that. Retro is an expert on that stuff. I sent some to Kai too. I outsource things that are not in my wheelhouse, that are not my best use of my limited time. I could also increase my time, but I don't want to be a manager. Like, I do not want to. If I hire people, I'm becoming a manager. I can hire enough people, hire 10 people, make one of them a manager. I know a lot of business owners who've had issues over the years with employees of different kinds, and I just don't want to go the route of hiring people. So I love having like Retrospect's consignment services and James Consignment and Troll and Toad Consignment, and that's going to be the way that I'll scale. And I'll talk about that in my video on Monday. My video on Monday will be about scaling, and I'll heavily talk about why I never plan on hiring employees and all those things like that. Because the main reason, the word enough exists. The word enough exists. I just had to actually take a note of something I thought about to cover in my video. So I just opened up my note sheet for YouTube videos and added another note. But the word enough exists, and that's something that that's why I'm the fisherman. And I know people love that. My local USPS refused to comprehend that eBay and USPS have a deal about ESE. I would go on my phone and I would just find an official USPS. There's got to be a USPS.gov, whatever. There's got to be an official page on their own website. And I would just take that and show them that. Maybe they don't want to see it. I feel for people who have bad post offices because, like, I have an amazing one. Shout out my post office. What's the minimum amount of money it'd cost to get you to drink beer out of someone's shoe? If it were my shoe, do a shoe. I mean, it's called like a shoey, right? If it were my shoe, if I'm 10 IPAs deep and someone offers almost nothing, I probably would just do it. If it's my shoe, my wife's shoe, whatever. Like, I'd probably just do it. Who cares? It would need to be a lot of money if it was someone else's shoe, probably. Enough beers, though. Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, fake SM Pratt thought this King Pokemon account was a troll King Pokemon account. Oh man, that's funny. How do you keep track of what sell to whom when you do not print them one by one? Please show us. I print what's called a pick list. So I sort, and this is something that might be useful to people. I sort my sales. So like this morning, I had 20 shipments. I sorted by low price to high price. And then I printed my pick list. And what the pick list is, it just shows you the item and the name of who it's shipping to. And then in the same order, lowest value to highest value, I print my shipping labels. The reason I do that is because if I sell two Espeon Nagabas, they're both the same price. So when you sort by price, it puts the same cards together. If I sell 10 of my random PSA 9 listing, 10 of them are in a row. I want to pull the same cards like sequentially. If you sort by, I used to sort by date sold up until like a year or two ago. Sorting by date sold, if I sold one of these at 3 p.m. and then one at 7 p.m. and there were 5 orders in between, I don't want to have to go here to pick this card and then go to this bin to pick that card and then go back to this bin to pick another one of this card. Sorting by price makes it so you're pulling the same cards in a row. It gets a little bit messed up if someone buys this and something else, and then it makes their order a lot bigger. I might have to go back to the same box. Sorting by price, though, shout out that. That's a big efficiency that I made like a year or two ago that really, really makes things a lot better. My wife's shoe, Dan foot fetish confirmed. Oh, man. There we go. Gary's going to be at Charlotte. Awesome. Retro, I graded Red's Pikachu in mass before you were born. Come on, man. I've been in this hobby for 100 years, don't you know? So many things I do, Retro thinks he gave to me. Retro thinks I stole from him. I stole... Every play that exists was stolen from Retro. Oh, man. Dan, how do you ship? I just said it a minute ago. So I sort by price, and then I do card, label, card, label, card, label per my pick list. And one like sanity check to make sure I've done it right. If I ever ship, like most my orders are 1 card, 2 ounces. Occasionally I'll get like a 2 card order, and I will it'll be like a sanity check. So 10 1 card orders in a row, 2 ounce, 2 ounce, 2 ounce, 2 ounce, and then a 2 card order comes up, and it should be 4 ounce. If it's not 4 ounce, I mix something up and I have to fix something, and I can do a quick Google, not a quick Google, but a quick search on my eBay, search for John Doe, and make sure that that's the right card you ordered. But let me show these consignments because I mentioned I was going to some time ago now. To get these off the screen. I guess it doesn't matter. So we got a couple Tag All-Stars from one of my longtime consigners. A couple Tag All-Stars cards. It's just going to take me a minute to move these things around. I don't know if people want... This one has the prices scribbled on them. I don't know if anyone wants to be attached, if everyone wants to be attached to their cards always, but if people have shown their cards publicly and then they send their cards to me, it's like, yeah. People might know whose this is. Big time PokeTuber. It's that card. We've got, this is one that has the name on it, so I definitely don't want to show that. We got a couple cards there. Nice, I don't know if you'd call this modern. I don't know if you'd call this vintage, mid-modern, mid-vintage. Pretty cool cards, though, that I don't deal in too frequently. Got a nice little stack here of some super low pop EX era. Got some WotC. We got some Gold Star action. Nice variety there. These are all heading into the vault next week. This is not an exhaustive list, so there will be more than this. There are some that are coming in later this week. There are some that will land early next week. The next deadline is August 15th. So the next deadline to get in on the next vault shipment is August 15th. We've got some very, very nice Magic cards. Cool to see the Magic cards, historic cards that I don't do much with Magic. But yeah, look at all the power. The power I hold within my hands right now. Mox Emerald, Mox Pearl, Mox Ruby. Unlimited, white bordered. Not black border, but we got a Beta Sarah Angel right there. Really, really nice card. A lot of 4-figure Magic cards right there. 5% fee to sell through the eBay vault. This is another one of my longtime consigners. My very first consigner, actually, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, some nice cards there. Some very, very low pop Hold On Phantoms Deoxys cards. Maybe Pokemon DNA will want to hit me up about that one. But that's just a quick selection. I know I have a CGC 8 base first Charizard inbound for the eBay vault next shipment. I will be sending some of my own cards as well. But yeah, I just wanted to show that. I mentioned I was going to show that. I'm not going to be able to show all the consignment stuff, but why is the fisherman gotta be Mexican canceled? It's a parable. I'm not the one who created the parable, so I did not make him. That's just the way the parable is. Look it up. Parable of the Mexican fisherman. Did they drop World's card in 2023? I heard something about it. It's no longer the Champions Festival. It's I forget what it's called already, but somebody talked about it earlier. There's a big Lapras on it. Don't fancy getting someone else to do everything whilst you play Old Skool all day. I love Old Skool RuneScape. I could not play Old Skool RuneScape all day. I do enjoy video games. I used to play Fortnite for a few years there. I used to play with Charlie and John, Pokemon Radar a little bit, and Sherlocker. But I couldn't do it all day. I played for 5 hours about a week and a half ago now, that RuneScape stream. I was having beer, so I was having a good time, but like I feel like I need to have beers to play video games for 5 hours straight. That's the only way I can, and I can't do that all the time. Like that's plenty for me. That's plenty for me for a few months, and I'll do it again at some point. Dan just doesn't want to pay payroll taxes. Let's be serious. I have payroll. I have an S corporation. I have an S corporation. 2 people currently on payroll. President and vice president. Let's see. Top 5 movies. I have such a bad memory. Like I really loved the Saw movies, and I know they've made like 27 Saws by now. I don't think I saw anything after like Saw 5 or Saw 6, but I like psychological thrillers. So I have such a bad memory though. My wife and I, it's taken us like an hour into a movie, sometimes half an hour to an hour into a movie, to remember that we're watching the same movie we watched like 2 or 3 years ago. Sometimes five. I mean, we've been together for 13 years now. But there's been times where we finish a movie and we're like, we watched that before, didn't we? Like that's how bad my memory is with some of these things. But psychological thrillers are big ones. I like good comedies too. There are some movies that are like nostalgic to me. So there's certain movies that I just had like on VHS growing up that I watched a million times. Blank Check, for whatever reason. I love that movie. We had it on VHS. That was a default movie. I was sick a lot as a child. I'd stay home from school sick. I'd pop in Blank Check. I used to have Triple X, not like Sex Bot, ban them from the live chat. The one with Xander Cage, what's the actor's name? Vin Diesel. I watched that movie a ton. I used to have iRobot. Remember my 8-hour, 9-hour live stream with Jake? That clip that Swami made. Actually, I saw Swami in chat. my logic is undeniable. Not that iRobot, not that Triple X, not that Blank Check are like top 5 movies. They're just like nostalgic to me because for whatever reason, I think I had iRobot on DVD actually, not VHS, but I had the others on VHS. I know for sure. But as far as other top movies, I'm just gonna like The Matrix is a really cool movie too. I'm not gonna be able to think of some of my absolute favorite ones just being put on the spot trying to think of it, but somebody says he likes Jaws. Sometimes I think the video is frozen when in reality it's just Dan squinting trying to read chat. What do you think about Obsidian Flame, Sun and Moon, Burning Shadows, or Darkness Ablaze? I don't have any strong opinions on any of them. James won't hire anyone without glasses. I remember Brian made a face reveal on a video. Does Brian have glasses too? I can't remember. I think he does though. I'm not being sponsored for this drink. That's why I'm not drinking it out of the can. I'm drinking it out of a clear glass because no sponsorship, Coca-Cola. Come on. Drinking out of shoes, maybe I am getting old. Yes, old school. Not old school. I almost called Gary. King Pokemon, Old Skool Pokemon. Gary's never done a shoey, sounds like. I've actually never done a shoey. I don't think it was as much of a thing 10, 15 years ago, but I've definitely seen, I watched some like RuneScape streamers who've done shoeys on stream, and I don't think it was a big thing in college because I don't ever, not that I would remember doing a shoey. Like maybe I've done a shoey and I just don't remember it. I don't know. That's getting a little bit dark. Why do you think Celebrations cards are so cheap right now? Supply and demand equilibrium. There's a lot of them. I can tell Dan never gets 120 card orders. Oh, man. I always have to click each order and print labels from each order page because the mass shipping label purchase page never allows me to print the correct format. There's a way to fix that. There absolutely is a way to fix that. I don't remember how, but I remember having an issue where when I printed in bulk, it would print my things like instead of landscape, they would be vertical or yeah, they would be vertical instead of horizontal or whatever. And I did some eBay Googling and I found some like eBay community forum page where somebody found me the fix. I can't remember though, genuinely what it was. Panga says show off my consignment. I somewhere, I don't even know where it is anymore. It's lost amongst those like 300 plus slabs that are going for auction. I need to auction off all those slabs just so I can get them out of the way so I can re-find Panga's year-old consignment of that CGC Pristine Porygon level X, I believe, Japanese. Might as well be talking about maintenance issues on your yacht. I don't know what I said to bring that one, but oh, that's funny. What's a VHS? I don't even know what does VHS stand for? Video Video home system. Okay. I did not know that. But yeah, video home system. A shoey better than them kids doing butt bongs, I guess. Oh, that's funny. How Forrest Gump hasn't been said is kind of sad. Overrated. Just a bunch of running. Well, we completely got off the rails there at the end. Not quite as off the rails as the earlier live chat I was in. I feel like I've read about... sometimes like when we're trying to think of a movie to watch, we have Paramount Plus, we have Netflix, I have a hard drive of tons of movies. It's always like a big process to find a movie to watch. Parasite is one that I've definitely heard of. I feel like is it subtitled? I almost feel like it's a foreign language movie that you have to watch subtitled in English. So that's been a little bit of a turnoff. But I feel like I've seen that come up on a lot of psychological thriller suggestions. But I know, like, I guess I'm not going to get to my whole consignment thing. Let me just talk about good psychological thrillers that are in my, like, top movies. Like, Shutter Island was really good. But picking the top 5 is so hard. Like, I can say a lot of good movies, but just picking, like, these are definitely the best. It's so hard. I'm looking up. I'm on Parade.com. 75 best psychological thrillers of all time, and Parasite is here. Zodiac. I actually see. Zodiac is on the list as well. What's his name? The guy that's in Donnie Darko. I'm so bad with actors and actresses' names. I know his name too. He's in a lot of good movies. Someone's gonna say it before I can look it up. Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal's in quite a few good. Donnie Darko's a really good movie. He's in a lot of good psychological thrillers. Christian Bale, I think, also is in a lot of good psychological thrillers. I think I'm saying the right name there. For a while there, I was in and I can't think of which ones Christian Bale was in, but we watched several movies in a row. The Machinist was one of them. My wife was like, "What's with you and Christian Bale lately?" Like that's all we're watching. We just recently, American Hustle was one of those movies. We watched American Hustle like last week. I'm pretty sure we had watched it before. But it's one of those movies that like I've read about a few times and we thought about watching it and then we didn't. We watched it last week for the second time and it took us like an hour into it to I think realize. I think we both independently realized we had already watched it, but we just like watched the whole thing because we weren't like 100% sure. That was a good movie. Not like a best 5, but Christian Bale's in a lot of good movies. I'm trying to find what the other ones were. I thought there was a really top one that he was in. Maybe I'm thinking of The Machinist though. That was good. Let me scroll down my list further. Gone Girl was really good. That's a more recent one. Fight Club was really good. I'm just looking at my top 75 list. A lot of good movies out there, though. And I don't just like psychological thrillers. I do really like them a lot, but I like comedies. I like action movies. I like all kinds of movies. Beanie Bubble and Beanie Mania were both great. Absolutely. I'm so like Coherence. I'm pretty sure I've seen Coherence, but I'd have to like read the synopsis. I can't remember exactly. Like even movies, some movies that I really liked. I can't remember them by the name or by the actress. And has anyone seen the Pez movie? The Pez Outlaw or the Pez Bandit or whatever they call them? I think I did watch that. Nightcrawler was another Jake Gyllenhaal one that was good. But yeah, we're getting to deep into the psychological thrillers at this point. Hopefully everyone has a new movie or two to add on their watch later list. I'm gonna be ending soon though. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Not seeing any other ones jump out at me. But yeah, everyone, your homework before the next week's live stream, is to go watch one of the movies we talked about and let us know. Tell the class what your favorite movie was of all the ones we talked about. But I'm going to be live tomorrow on Pokeflips with Alex from Nostalgianomics. Looking forward to that chat with Nick and Alex. And I will also be live tomorrow night on Pokemon Wonder's channel. I came across his channel recently when Alex went on his channel. I'll be going on there. I think he's going to do like a series where he has a bunch of different people on. So looking forward to that. He's got some good content over there. So yeah, 2 live streams tomorrow. I might be doing a live stream Friday as well. My Obsidian Flame is landing today. Might have actually landed while I was live. So hope everyone has a great night. I only see 32 likes with 69 watching. So hit the like on your way out. Maybe some people will watch this when it's done and posted. But yeah, thanks everyone.